To test a population parameter, we use a pair of hypotheses. One represents the claim, and the other represents its complement. The two hypotheses are opposing viewpoints, so when one is false, the other must be true. The first is the null hypothesis, which is denoted by an H with a subscript of 0. This is the statement to be tested. The null hypothesis is a statement of no difference. The null hypothesis is assumed to be true until evidence indicates otherwise. And the null hypothesis must use an equal sign, a greater than or equal to sign, or a less than or equal to sign. The other hypothesis is the alternative hypothesis, and this is denoted by an H with a subscript of A. This is the statement that is contradictory to the null hypothesis that we are trying to find evidence to support. And the alternative hypothesis must use a not equal to sign, a strictly less than sign, or a strictly greater than sign. So if the null hypothesis uses an equal sign, the corresponding alternative hypothesis must use the not equal to sign. If the null hypothesis uses the greater than or equal to sign, the alternative hypothesis must use the less than sign. And then finally, if the null hypothesis uses the less than or equal to sign, the alternative hypothesis must use the greater than sign. So either the null hypothesis or the alternative hypothesis may represent the original claim. State the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis both in words and as mathematical statements. Identify which is the claim. An amusement park claims that the mean daily attendance at the park is at least 10,000 people. So that's the claim. And because they use the phrasing at least 10,000, that really means greater than or equal to 10,000, which has to be the null hypothesis because the null hypothesis uses equals to, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. So the null hypothesis is the claim. And then we have to write it in words, so I'm basically just going to copy down what the problem already says, that the mean daily attendance is at least 10,000 people. So for the alternative hypothesis, that would be mu is strictly less than 10,000. So that is the complement. And in words, the mean daily attendance is less than 10,000 people. According to a recent survey, 39% of college students own a parking pass. So that is the claim, and that means that the proportion is equal to 39%, or 0.39. So that has to be the null hypothesis because it uses an equal sign. So the null hypothesis is the claim. And writing this in words, I'm basically just copying down the question. The proportion of college students who own a parking pass is 39%. Now the alternative hypothesis is going to be p is not equal to 0.39. So the proportion of college students who own a parking pass is not 39%.